So we've had our thermostat inside the coop running for about 48 hours or so. And the one thing that we've been noticing is the air temperature inside the coop is pretty much the same as the air temperature outside the coop. So we were hoping at this point that the body heat from the chickens would warm the coop a little bit at night, and they would have some little bit of a heat protection from the elements, but that doesn't seem to be happening. So I think what we need to do is cover one of the air vents. So I got this really large Ziploc bag, and I think I'm gonna give this a try as plastic. I'm not sure how the elements are gonna treat it, but the nice thing about this is it's got 2 layers of plastic, and we'll still be able to see through it. So we're gonna go out there and see if this will mostly cover the whole or all of it.
Gonna be over in no time.
All right. I'm gonna do something about the bottom here so it doesn't like flap.
Yeah, we'll get another bag. Do you want another bag on top?
Yeah.
So, like roofing, you want to start from the bottom and work up. So we'll put another bag on top of it, then we can come back and punch more holes in it.
Sounds good. All right, we got our second bag.
Just like that?
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay. Oh, mister. Got her. Got it. Got her.
So I'm hoping this provides the chickens with a little bit more warmth. They still have ventilation inside the coop. Obviously, they've got their passageway in. And we also have I'm really short, you may not be able to see this, but we do have a vent in the roof to help with ventilation as well, so that hopefully condensation won't build up and they'll stay dry and warm in the winter. But we'll have to take a look later tonight. The chickens put themselves to bed around sunset. And sunset is about, oh geez, how depressing, 4:34.
Right on, bud.
Good job, buddy. Anyways, 4:34 is sunset, just pretty much like on the nose. They will kind of file in and put themselves to bed. And I'm going to check here later tonight and see on the thermometer if it's a little bit warmer inside the coop than it is outside. And if that's the case, that will be great, because that was what we were hoping for.
So let's go over ventilation real quick. As you know, one of the things that you don't want to do with the chickens is seal off all their ventilation. That'll seal in humidity. So how this works is hot air rises, right? It goes to your ridge vent. It's going to come out. When it comes out, it's going to create a natural vacuum and pull in fresh air from underneath right here. So the cold air is going to come down, push the hot air back up like that. It's going to take the humidity out, and we're going to have, you know, natural ventilation like that. This is more for so we can see the girls at night, or if they're laying, or what have you. So it's more of a peep window than anything.
So we can creep on our chickens when they're laying eggs, and then they can look at us all rude. Yeah, we were thinking maybe about wood. That would definitely seal it up, but then we couldn't see them. And sometimes, you know, the chickens do escape from the yard and we have to do an inventory. And usually one of them is in there laying. If we can do a visual verify, then we can count chickens to make sure that they're safe at night.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Maybe next year, where all this white is, we'll put in a clear plexiglass and still keep the bars in there. Don't know. Follow along.
It's day by day.
See where it goes.
We have no hopes and dreams. It's just day by day. So one other thing that we worked on today was securing our fence in our backyard to keep the chickens from escaping. So I'm going to flip this camera around here. We have a little short fence right here.
Mama, hi.
They can. And they were hopping over the fence, and then they were going into our neighbors' yards. And it was a really active week of phone calls from several neighbors that way. And As you can see, we do kind of have a chicken wire fence. They really don't like to fly over this very much because it's not stable and they can't perch on it. And they're kind of like really insecure flyers, I've noticed. But they were perching on top of here and also going underneath here. So what we did earlier today, I was playing around and I got this idea if we just laid some fencing on top, just like this.
Mom.
That it would keep them from perching, and they are looking at it and they are looking at me with a really dirty look in their face. Like, why did you seal off our escape hatch? They don't want to fly over this. This looks way too like wobbly and unstable for them.
And they'll get cut.
Yeah, they don't want to get hurt. So if they think they're going to get hurt, they won't do it. And then I also added some fencing down here because Parmesan, little sneak, was getting underneath this fence. And we added some over here, this piece of wood we're going to toss, obviously. The other area that Parmesan found was back in this corner. Immediately when we sealed that off, she went right back to her second secret exit. There was a loose piece of fence back here that was lifting off the ground. She just snuck underneath. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So we added a dual layer of fence here. And so far, it's been 4 hours or so. And no escapes. Parmesan has been very vocal about her displeasure at this. And look at this. She's been at the top of her lungs for several hours. She's finally piped down, but she's not happy with this.
Parmesan, could I get a carry?
I don't think she wants to. Here are the girls staying in their yard like they're supposed to. The black one is Pot Pie again, and the golden white is Noodle. And these two girls seem to be content with staying in the yard. They don't really fly over too much. Noodle hardly ever leaves the yard, but Parmesan, our extrovert, our adventurist, she's been the troublemaker. She's been the one that finds any way she can to get out. Don't ya?
You do it, Parm. You do it, you get in trouble. And we have a note to keep an eye on you in the night. By the way, we got... You're the troublemaker.
Popeye's like, screw this. I'm just going home.
You got one for me?
Oh, easy with the rollerblades, buddy. We don't fall and hurt the chicken. There's Parm. She's a troublemaker.
I'll hold you, Max. She's a troublemaker.
She really doesn't mind being handled. She puts up with it. She's pretty patient with the kids. She's the easiest one to catch.
No, she isn't. Popeye is. I got it.
Yes, be careful with her.
This is Popeye. She's our big girl. She's a chunk compared to the other chickens. Loves to eat anything for food. Whoa.
Okay.
Can you hold her?
Yeah.
Whoa. Sorry, Pot.
Sorry. I'm so sorry because you're fat. Just easy.
No,
Come on
Okay,
now.
sweetie.
she's warm.
And they shake it off. Like, ugh. Yuck. Human.
No!
I should point out that we set our plate heater that we just mounted the other day to go off when it gets really super cold. So 37 is not quite the threshold we want to turn the heater on quite yet for. The chickens obviously are comfortable in 30-something weather. We haven't seen any shivering from them, and we've even gotten down to daytime highs in the 20s yet, and it hasn't bothered them. But I think we set it to about maybe 15 degrees or so that heater will kick in. So that is one thing I'd like to point out is we're just trying to see how warm the coop can be without the heater. And then when it gets cold, we can turn on the heater and see what difference that makes. Okay, so it's a little bit past 10. I'm talking quiet because I'm not going to wake the kids. The air temperature inside the coop is 32.2 degrees. However, my watch says 30. This is probably a temperature taken from the nearest airport. So I'm going to grab a thermometer. I'm going to get the actual temperature air reading from our backyard and compare. This thing is like surprisingly accurate when it comes to not just meat, but air and water temperatures too. We would use this to measure the pool water in the summer for the kids. Watching that thing drop like a rock. I wish it was 55 out. Okay, so I think the final reading is 30 degrees and some odd tenths of a degree. Kind of is wavering between 0.6 and 0.9. So that would mean that our coop is just slightly above air temperature. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more, but maybe there'll be more of a difference come morning when the chickens have been in there all night. Right now they've been in there about 5 hours or so. They're probably all huddled together in there. Was kind of hoping for a little bit bigger of a difference, but I'll check the temperature in morning. And by the way, this thing is like 4.5 minutes in. It took forever, and I'm freezing my butt off. So I'm going to go in and go to bed, and I'm going to check it in the morning. Okay, so 7:12 a.m., and now it's 36 degrees inside the coop, which the temperature went up. However, the air temperature went up as well. So let me get another reading. Okay, so it's hovering right around 37.5 degrees. So as of right now, it's actually cooler inside the coop. So a lot of the YouTube channels that we've been watching have been touting that you don't need to heat your chickens in the winter. They're built with feathers to keep them warm. Maybe when it gets super cold like it can in Minnesota, that is a good idea to have a supplemental heater. But a lot of the chicken farmers that we've watched on YouTube are saying that the coop can be anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees warmer than the outside air temperature. So the only thing I can think of and why that's not happening for us is because we only have 3 chickens. The city only allows us to have up to 4. We might get a 4th next year. But a lot of the other YouTubers that we're watching, they have dozens of chickens, if not, 40 or 50 or something like that, and ducks sometimes. And all these birds are kind of crammed into the coop, and I could see how that would make it a lot warmer with all those feathery bodies in there to kind of keep each other warm. So that being said, I'm not sure if we're going to have our little plate heater kick in at a warmer temperature or not. That's to be discussed. So just another update. It is now December 27th. We've had a lot of ups and downs in weather since we last took our video. But now we have about 3 or 4 inches of snow. It's very chilly outside. And you'll see 2 lights. One is inside the run, and that indicates that the heated water font is working, so the water will not get frozen. And the one on the right is our socket extension cord that indicates that the plate heater inside the coop is on. So you can kind of see that right now inside the coop, it is a little over 18 degrees, which may seem like it's really cold, but it's only like 7 degrees outside. So the plate heater's definitely making that 10-degree difference, not so much the chicken heat. I did check for eggs around 6 o'clock tonight, and you could visibly feel, or not visibly feel, but you could tell the difference that it was warmer inside the coop when I grabbed those eggs and it was outside, and the chickens seemed to be pretty happy. They're all kind of like fluffed out on their little roosting bar, but this heating plate seems to be working really well, and we're happy with it, and I think we're going to stick with that.